Hello and welcome to the week 1 recap of BSPL. I'm here with Ika Ika Musume, and we're going to take a look at some highlight games. So big shout out to Greil Mercenary for writing a bunch of notes on the games for us. And if you want to submit replays or like your own notes for games in the future, hit us up and we'll try to include all the games that we feel like were highlights from each set. So the first one we're going to be looking at is Greil versus Jamal. So this was arguably the most hyped game for the week, with the two most expensive players going head to head, or at least with Chemcoop's availability issues, the two most expensive players. So let's get into it. So
yeah, it should be good. So like kind of looking at the team matchup, it's a very interesting one.
Maybe we just talk about
Maybe we just sort of talk about the team matchup first, before actually going into the game. So for me, when I was looking at it, the first thing that stands out to me is that Low Punny actually does pretty well here.
That's right.
At least in practice, in theory, it does pretty well. In practice, there's a lot of things on Greil's team that kind of can take a Low Punny hit. He has the Metagross and the Beanie and the Landorus, who can all take one hit from Low Punny and KO it back. So if Jamal's going to be leading the Low Punny like he does in this game, he's got to be really careful in how he actually uses it to get that necessary chip off. On the other side, I look at quite a few of his team being quite important. I think Metagross can be pretty decent here, depending on the set, which is always the case with Metagross. Greil really needs to watch out for Hippo. It's just a pain for everything on his team except his two water types, but Jamal has both the Thunderous and the Kartana, so those, the Feeny and the Gren are both quite pressured. So I guess we could sorry.
No, you're right. I really like the look of the Charizard. Obviously, once it gets going, once it gets a flame charge off it, it's really threatening as well.
I guess the thing is, I think Charizard Y would be a lot better for Greil than Charizard X, which I think is revealed to be Charizard X in this game, but he really doesn't have anything for. If he manages to get Charizard Y in against the Feeny or the Celesteela or even the Kartana, Flame Charge is just like he OHKOs pretty much every mon.
It would have been lethal
on Jamal's team.
Alright, let's kick this game off. I might just reset it. Alright, so gets the Low Punny lead in versus the Metagross there, and just goes for the fake out, sorry.
Yeah.
So right at that point, if I was in Jamal's shoes, I'd be like, going into a tanky mon.
I think he's got a few like decent switch-ins, at least on his team.
That's right.
To
mop up the hit that's coming
the Hippo comes out.
So goes Hippo, takes the Hammer Arm there. So obviously Hammer Arm would take out the Low Punny and would be a really good.
Catch out the Kartana.
It would get the Kartana. That's right. If Jamal thought he was switching into an Iron Head there, so pretty standard decision from Greil, and Greil sends his Lando in on the Hippo. Revealed that the Hippo was Rocky Helmet as soon as the Hammer Arm landed there, And now Jamal's in here to just start chipping down Greil's team, I guess. Essentially, just whirlwinding.
Yeah.
We see Mimikyu.
Yeah.
And
I think really early on, what you can see is that look at Greil's team and look at Hippo.
Yeah.
It's quite obvious that
Hippo's going to be
Greil
causing
has
some
no
trouble.
easy way to kill defensive Hippo whatsoever.
That's right.
And right now, I think what Jamal is trying to do, I mean, he's just going to slack off stall this Metagross, but he's trying to break that disguise on the Mimikyu.
Yeah. And so Greil opting for
keep whirlwind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greil resorting to the Ice Punch there to try and get some damage, but can just go into Finny, Jamal. Man, that Metagross really
just
made
sacks it to get
to get Hippo back in.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this,
I mean, as long as he doesn't get frozen here, he's
on misty terrain.
Yeah.
That's right. So
this is really important that he gets double flinched here.
Yeah. So Metagross and the Hippo go down, and it's going to be Lopunny versus the world, unfortunately. For Jamal. Gets the Ice Punch there, but that is a fat Landorus, and that Lopunny was never going to get around the Mimikyu anyway, so Greil took the set there. But yeah, that double flinch was probably pretty important.
Yeah, I feel like his if he didn't get those, well, he needed both of them. Because the play for Jamal at least was just to keep slacking off whilst he got the Rocky Helmet chip until Metagross went down.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, after a certain point, he's gonna get the chip necessary on Landorus so that Lopunny can KO it with an Ice Punch.
Yeah.
And then it's just breaking Mimikyu's disguise.
That
A similar situation was came out in Game 3.
Yeah, that Ice Punch did not even 30% to that. That Landorus was really ready for an Ice Punch. But anyway, we'll go on to Game 2. So, whoa.
Very soon.
So the leads here, Greil electing to go Finny into the Lopunny this time. I guess it has slight advantage, but was this? No, Jamal had the specially defensive Finny, or at least the one that really didn't appreciate the Iron Head from Metagross in the last game.
Yeah, it just seems max HP.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no drawback to faking out every time turn 1 because it just gives him free information.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, when he was versus the Metagross, you can kind of get an idea of the set, or if he's going to switch into his Landorus, is that going to be Rocky Helmet? The same thing with this Fini. I mean, I'm sure Jamal knows that that's probably more defensive Fini.
So Greil got the Nature's Madness off there and instantly taking Kartana down to 50%. Nature's Madness, gotta respect that decision. Obviously the switch, Lopunny wasn't gonna hang around to get Moonblasted.
Yeah, it's kind of a no drawback play.
Yeah. So Kart going Leaf Blade into the Metagross switch, and here comes the fat Hippo
back again.
Taking a Surf like it's no problem at all. Jamal firing off an Earthquake, but Finny must be a defensive Finny there as well too.
There's the Surf is not doing enough damage. If it was modest Finny, it would be doing somewhere around the 75% mark.
Yeah. So we've got some big turns coming up here because obviously Greil needs to get rid of that Hippo in order to win the game, and if Jamal can eliminate Finny, then I think he'll pretty much have it as well. So Greil electing to Hidden Power Fire, I guess assuming that
the Kart
was coming. Yeah. And
I feel like that was a mistake though, there, because he can just use the Moonblast, or because it will KO the Kartana anyways.
Ah, right, yeah. From half health, probably.
Yeah, I mean Kartana kind of has rubbish
special defense. That's right. Yeah. So essentially, the Light Bunny is poised to take this game from this point in the game. Just outspeeds. Eats the water shuriken and then just has to land the high jump.
He gets the kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, watching this live, super hype game. One to the 2017 champion, and then one to arguably the best, strongest player in our community right now.
Currently, yeah.
And obviously he won the last round of the BSSC as well. Greil. All right.
I thought John won, but
was it John? Greil might have won the one before that, wasn't it?
He was
BSLT. That's right.
I think
he won BSLT.
Yeah.
All right. So the leads this time we got Finny versus Greninja. So what did we see from Greninja in the last game? We saw it.
You saw the life orb.
You saw the life orb,
and it was Protein, I believe.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely Protean. It was packing Ice Beam. So we haven't seen all four moves. So Greil, Jamal could be assuming Gunk Shot here.
Yeah.
All right, let's just see how it starts off. So we do see Gunk Shot comes in. Its life orb does a huge chunk to that Finny, but Jamal not scared, going to fire back with the Hydro Vortex, and we see some interesting tech. The Charizard not revealing which Mega it is, and just going to Earthquake straight into the Finny to revenge KO there.
Yeah. I was talking to Greil a bit about this after the game, and one of the things he said is obviously both Charizards can run Earthquake.
Yeah.
Because Charizard Y can run it for
Heatran. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a very ballsy Swords Dance from Greil there on the Charizard against the Hippo. I guess he was banking on Hippo either
a slack off.
That's right.
I think.
Yeah. So
because if he Earthquakes there, if he gets the Flare Blitz damage, obviously it won't KO the Hippo. But because he knows it's Rocky Helmet instead of Bulky Berry from game 1 and 2, it will get it into range where he can just clean up the game.
Yeah.
With his Landorus, I believe is his last year. Whereas now he's really in a bad position, I feel.
Yeah, so I remember watching this and just kind of thinking Jamal is going to take this. What can Landorus do to this Hippo? Well, I mean, the Hippo can't hit it, but...
yeah, it's just like... I feel like with this, right here, I wasn't watching it live, but when I was watching it back in the replays, I thought, well, one turn or another, Jamal's gonna switch into his
low punny,
and get the necessary chip.
Yeah.
I think
I hadn't actually seen the previous game. I think I might have joined right here, and I didn't realize how thick this Lando was and how well it could handle an Ice Punch.
Yeah, I think it was like it was quite obviously had some defensive investment in, but I think Jamal was fearing because I think the Landorus had shown superpower.
It had revealed superpower in a previous game, didn't it? That's right. Yeah, it revealed it turn. No, hold on. Did it? Because I know we saw superpower from the Metagross. But anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, these next few turns are basically Hippo stalling Lando. A lot of fun. I'm sure a lot of people have been in this sort of matchup.
It's unfortunate that is not toxic damage on the Hippo, so it's not getting higher. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jamal assumed this was Assault Vest because typically Sludge Bomb
you would run it on
kind
Assault
of used
Vest,
as you'd run it on
anti-special.
You kind of have to have 4 attacking.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there for your well, especially it's the type of Bulu killer.
Yeah.
Really.
That's right.
But yeah, it's just I can't remember which turn exactly Hippo dies.
I'm going to speed this up a little bit because it's actually taking longer than I remember.
Yeah, I did think it was like in the 30s, but
yeah. So he finally gets the.
I feel like.
Whoa, I'm gonna.
Oh, wait a second.
So look at that! Like, just survives on a sliver of health, activates the Eye of Papa Berry, and KOs back with a superpower. So yeah, pretty incredible set. Jamal, I guess, could have won if he switched in onto an attack that wasn't superpower and just got him with the fake out and then back into the Hippo. So unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
pretty much any turn, but you know, it's the pressure of the game. I think if he'd have looked at the game 1 where he ice punched the Lando after Intimidate, then I think if he'd have recalled that, he'd probably had a better idea that it at least had some defensive investment, given how little that was doing. But you know, it's heat at the moment. Last game, tense situation, so you can miss things like that.
That's right. Yeah, well, I mean, I remember watching it and just thinking that Jamal had it anyway. To be honest, like, I mean, because there's no. I would have thought there was no point risking the switch just because. Yeah, like, it's safer. You know, you're not risking crits and things like that. So anyway, so the next set we're going to talk about is my game versus Chemcoop. So I've also got the Pokey Paste here.
Yeah, I think it's like kind of ironic that, I mean, Chemcoop is probably one of, I think most people would regard him as one of the best 3 singles players currently.
I certainly think so.
In Battle Spot, but he's was actually bought for less than you.
He was, but that's because he's going to be away
the
for
3 weeks. The 3 weeks he's playing, unfortunately, are the ones where he plays against your team and my team. So
yeah.
When the Pleb Blitzers have Chemcoop, they look a really scary roster, actually.
I really think they're probably the best while Chemcoop's here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
so
yeah, this was a good set.
So a couple notes on the reason that I built this team. I don't know if it sounds stupid or not, but my logic was I didn't think Chemcoop would expect me to bring Lucario because I often talk about how I think Lucario is like a fan pick. That's where it gets its popularity from. And I know he likes to use Porygon 2 a lot. So I thought we can delete Porygon 2 and he probably won't be expecting me to bring it, so that's why. And then I took the team as a classic like Hippo, Dragonite, Lucario team, but made adjustments as I went and replaced the Dragonite with Porygon Z. So yeah.
It's a cool looking team. I think, and Lucario looks, you know, it honestly does look great in this particular matchup.
Yeah.
Just at least on paper.
And so I guess if you've watched like any of my streams or like know what style I like to use, I definitely favour Trick Room with Breloom, and I think Chemcoop has certainly come ready to verse that style of team. I don't think Breloom's going to be doing a whole lot of work versus that. I mean, he's got the Misty terrain, he's got Psychic terrain, Fake Out with the Kangaskhan, Sand Chip damage, Outspeeding with Greninja. There's no way, like...
He's got...
Yeah.
I think he had the Taunt Tappafini as well.
Right. Yeah.
Or probably for Porygon.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Taunt Superior. Reflect to shut down Mawile. It's definitely some anti-Lloyd Pokemon going on here.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's kick it off. So looking at his team, I thought Mimikyu would be just like an all-round good lead. Maybe
yeah. I disagree with you, but obviously, like, you don't know that in the moment.
Yeah.
I think like here, Kev actually messes up this turn one
by not going Reflect or
he should have gone Reflect every time. I think.
Well, he probably assumed that I was going to Swords Dance or go for like a Thunder Wave or something like that. I guess.
That's true.
But so I was just like, well, he can also just Leaf Storm and get to +2. I know now that wasn't going to be in KO range, but yeah. So I just go for the Z move turn 1, and
yeah,
I should have probably been calking there to take note of how defensive that thing was. So yeah, follows up.
Right here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
What I was gonna say, right here. This is something that I picked up from the game. Is that this turn is actually a really strange turn. See, Kevin here goes into T-Tar.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I look at that and I think he's bringing T-Tar in on a Mimikyu who you know
is gonna hit him with a fairy attack.
Absolutely not. For me, I look at this and think, what's he trying to do?
Yeah.
And my theory, at least, was that Kem wanted to break the other skies, so that he could win with whatever he had in the back, which probably also didn't beat Mimikyu, which I think it was Greninja in this game.
Doesn't he go for Stealth Rocks here? Okay.
I thought he Rock Tombs here.
Oh, he does. You're right. Okay, so he Rock Tombs. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're right. I'm assuming he thinks he can. Yeah. So now he gets the Stealth Rock. He was going to outspeed. Misses a Fire Blast, unfortunately. But to be honest,
it's very unfortunate.
That Fire Blast doesn't.
Too much.
Yeah. So the Hydro Pump with the Life Orb, boof. The Fire Blast didn't miss. I mean, didn't matter that he missed that. I believe Hydro Pump here also KOs, so that was incredibly unfortunate. And anyway, now I'm just trying to get him in range of Bullet Punch.
Yeah, the miss of the double pump. But if you had Lucario in the back, I think you probably won.
Yeah,
anyways.
I don't know the range.
The double Hydro Pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did have Lucario in the back there. I'm not sure what Bullet Punch does to a Water-type Greninja, but I think the first Hydro miss was the only one that mattered, that's for sure. Like, after I got the Shadow Sneak off, it would have been in Bullet Punch.
Oh, yeah. Gren is not particularly the most...
Not tanky. Yeah.
You kind of just need, once you had the second one,
that's right.
Yeah, just a bit unfortunate, but it happens. Obviously, Pokemon is kind of a game of a cool game sometimes.
All right, so on to the second game. Now this one, I didn't. Yeah, Chemcoop really stepped it up on me in this game. In hindsight, I probably should have led Snorlax, but I think at the time I didn't want to do that because Snorlax. The whole time I've been practicing with him, I'd used him as a Middlemon, and I'd use either like Lando or Hippo to set up, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But off of the previous lead, I just kind of felt confident going Mimikyu again. So we end up with the same leads, and this time Kemku...
He knows.
Yeah, so I probably should have mixed it up there and clicked Swords Dance, and I end up in a real pickle here. Kemku is just absolutely dominating. Playwright just bounces off. And probably should have tried to calc that as well. So I sneaked for basically no reason. I thought that Lucario's Bullet Punch would actually knock out Serperior from here, but behind Reflect it really just is bouncing off.
Yeah.
So he gets a Paralysis proc there, which is pretty nice, and a crit. I don't know how much that mattered, but from here, yeah, that second game was an absolute stomp. And
you got to put your put it behind you. That
game. Kind of, yeah,
it's kind of just unfortunate, really.
Kemku really just flexing, and yeah, I mean you can't play lazy versus Kemku because that's what will happen basically.
I think that game was kind of at least a good wake up call for you for game 3.
Yeah.
I think the first game, you should have definitely brought Snorlax all 3 games. And that's just my personal opinion. But this game shows you why you need to have Lax. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Kem leads Superior this game as well. No reason not to.
Yeah, so it's pretty fail-safe. So what I was thinking,
neutral versus everything.
Yeah. What I was thinking here was that I could just I didn't really I kind of got a bit carried away because I knew that I wanted to have the Stealth Rocks up, but I knew that Hippo wasn't going to be able to do it with this thing hanging around because it's got Taunt and it's just going to start Leaf Storming and it'll blow me out. But what I didn't really think about was Lando's inability to do much here. Because even once I get the Stealth Rocks up, like Lando's in a real pickle with the set that it's running. So I just have to turn one switch and go straight into Snorlax.
Yeah.
So I know that Taunt's coming and just click Return. Return does reasonable damage. I think it was actually a roll to survive this next Leaf Storm though, so I was really lucky not to die right there. And managed to get past the Serperior with Snorlax, so...
I think... I was surprised you... I think leading Snorlax... Well...
Definitely would have been a better...
I suppose this time... I'm surprised that Kem didn't go for a Reflect on one of these turns. Thinking about it, he could have lived.
He definitely could have tanked the damage coming in from Snorlax,
Yeah.
Anyway, so Serperior...
it turns out. Yeah, well for you.
Yeah, so Serperior goes down there, and Lele can just come in and revenge kill, no problem. I think, get the Rock Tomb off, and I think I assume that it's Specs because he just keeps going for Side Shock. Alright, okay. So that turn right there, before the explosion, I was really, really thinking really hard about what to do because I know I could set up Porygon Z on Tapu Lele. But I didn't know who was going to be in the back. So it could have been, obviously, Greninja, Kangaskhan, Tyranitar, or Fini. And Lele, I thought it would be just probably better to explode on the Lele, get rid of it, and just try and set up versus his last Mon.
Yeah, you kind of get the pop look of who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Greninja showing off its Rock Tomb. Now that was a long turn as well. Kemku was definitely thinking hard about what to go for there. Takes just under 40% of my health away with that Life Orb boosted Rock Tomb. And so I'm about to click... Oh yeah, so I get my Z conversion off there. So my special defense up at +1 and Kemku throws out a Hydro Pump. Life Orb boosted. Yeah. So
from what I heard.
Yeah.
From what I heard from Greil, is that I think the reason that he was like really calculating this turn was because the rolls, like just based on that matchup, I think Porygon Z actually wins the majority of the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Just because Gwen doesn't quite have enough damage to Oko the Porygon Z.
Yeah.
With just like a straight attack.
Yeah.
So this was to kind of go off that slot too.
Yeah, that's right. So this was the Porygon Z set that I made. 100 HP and the 222 speed allows it to outspeed Mega Manectric and Lopunny at +1. And then the special attack investment, literally, because I had HP Fire on it, it's my fire tech, makes it a guaranteed Oko versus Scizor, and that's apparently, according to Greil's calculations, that the Rock Tomb and the Hydro Pump, the chances of them getting those rolls was like less than 1%. So so I don't know, I was pretty happy with the way that I played overall there, and but
yeah, I think you played well actually. But I mean, you know, the game 3 was obviously a reversal of fortune from game 2, where Kem kind of missed 2 Hydro Pumps in a row. So
yeah,
it kind of like all comes back around.
That's right, it comes back around. There was luck on both sides. Alright, so now on to the very last highlight set. Our two fearless leaders going head to head, Synergy and Kansei, in the Auraz Battle Spot singles. So, yeah, definitely a lot of hype around this game, and both of them opting to bring Gardevoir teams, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually.
I remember looking at this matchup and thinking, where is like Mega Kangaskhan? Where's Aegislash? Where's Lando T? Where's Talonflame? That like all of the OP Auras mons.
I think they've kind of assumed both of these guys know that the other's an experienced Auras player, so they've kind of assumed that, you know, there's going to be a Mega Kangaskhan check, which there pretty obviously is on both sides, or a Talonflame check, so they're more free to actually bring this less, at least popular stuff, but can still be very effective, like Mega Gardevoir, and you have the Blaziken also on Synergy side, which normally Talonflame is going to send that thing packing, which is why it's not anywhere near as good as it is in
Sun and Moon.
But
yeah,
that's
right. All right, let's kick it off. So Kansei leading out with Heatran. So obviously on turn 1, you'd think Kansei definitely has the advantage. You'd expect Synergy to be switching out, but Synergy showing off his hidden power ground. So Synergy has come really well prepared to verse Kansei here. He must have been quietly smiling behind his monitor there, I reckon.
Pretty cool tech that puts him in a really, really good position.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not desperately uncommon. It's like seeing a hidden power ground Naganadel or the Earthquake Charizard Y. They do exist, but they can catch you off guard in the moment.
I've definitely considered, I've definitely considered running HP ground on Porygon 2 before, just to deal with Heatran. So Synergy really standing there, I think, on the ball, just knows the switch is coming and opts for a Psy Shock. Does land on the Cresselia, which does pitiful damage, but still, good decision there. Showing off the taunt, shutting down Cresselia. This Gardevoir is just causing all kinds of trouble versus Kansei. And Kansei, obviously, I'm guessing he must have had Either Mega Heracross or Garchomp in the back.
It's got to have been one of those two. Otherwise, he could have gone for potentially like a para with
Thundurus. Yeah, so he didn't have Thundurus there. And yeah, so Synergy's Gardevoir just absolutely frightening. Just shutting that game down straight away. So some really, really impressive tech there from Synergy. We'll kick off with the next game. So, so Kansai led with. Might just go back there. Kansai leading off with the Thundurus, and Synergy sent Garchomp in. Obviously, Kansai with the slight advantage there. You'd expect Synergy to switch out in fear of Hidden Power Ice.
It's an interesting matchup because kind of both of them have the potential at least to KO each other. I mean, an Outrage is going to send most Thundurus other than the most bulky ones packing, so...
Yeah.
But, yeah, you tend to think that the Thundurus probably almost certainly has either HP Ice or something that's going to disrupt the Garchomp, but they both switch.
Yeah,
but it seems that Synergy gets the advantageous matchup by, whether it's by his knowledge of the team or by good luck.
I think that was a really good play from Kansai too, like just not wasting any momentum there and just going into Cresselia, although it didn't really pan out quite as well as it could have. And Ferrothorn... I mean,
obviously he'd have loved to have gone into the Heatran on the Ferrothorn, but you can't. It's difficult to make those sorts of plays.
Those kinds of reads. And so on the switch, Ferrothorn going with the knockoff. So knockoff, it's really nice that Ferrothorn has knockoff. Really nice for Synergy anyway, as it's going to be good damage versus all three of the mons that Kansai has brought. And Heatran's pretty neutered now that it's lost its leftovers. It's not going to have any sustain. But does get the Will-O-Wisp on Garchomp there.
Yeah, that's really quite big. Cause,
yeah, it's important.
I mean, yes, the Garchomp can get up the Stealth Rock, but other than that, it's not really.
It's not going to be
doing anywhere near as much pressure
on Kansai.
You can't break through Cresselia or Thundurus anymore.
Yeah.
With Chomp.
Yeah. So Ferrothorn back on the field. Kansai switching back into his Heatran as you would expect. Locking Garchomp in with a Magnus Storm, and that's doing good damage to Chomp. Obviously, you can have a free switch into Cress now. Synergy just electing to Earthquake. I guess Synergy's not real phased about what this Garchomp does at this point anymore, as it's burnt. Probably just happy to let it go down, you would expect.
Yeah, it's pretty useless, and I think it's also quite obvious almost, but given the fact that Gardevoir 3-0'd Kansai last time, there's no real reason not to bring it in.
I will say though, got some pretty impressive chip up on that Heatran.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But if you assume that Gardevoir's here again, and I mean, let's be honest, why would you not bring Gardevoir? It doesn't matter because that Heatran is well within Hidden Power ground range.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably within just out. It might even be within Hyper Voice range. Probably not quite, but.
So Synergy again, anticipating the switch. Kansai, I guess, hoping for a freeze proc here. It's almost the only way that he's going to get through this Gardevoir, and this Gardevoir is just going beast mode. Kansai trying to force a switch, but Gardevoir is not scared of Thundurus, and it's just going to tear through.
Yeah, it's going to go straight through the team.
Yeah.
Oh. even the para is not going to start. Oh, you wanted the double para really bad there.
Yeah, I mean it's the smart play to go for, but yeah, Synergy really just brought the right tech on the right day and won that set in 2. So yeah.
Yeah, I think with the combination of the hidden power ground, like Kansei really struggles with Synergy's Gardevoir. Mate, I don't know what his own Gardevoir set was. Maybe that could have been something that he could have potentially tried to win a speed tie. It's better than going for a freeze, I think.
So at the end of week 1, we had all teams were tied except for the Falabar Flare Blitzers and the Castelia Cavaliers. So Flare Blitzers ended up taking win there, so they're 1-0. Yeah. So
it was a very close week.
Yeah, that's right. And it did look like all teams were going to tie there for a little while, but didn't quite end out that way. Yeah. Alright, well, we'll call that a wrap there. So if anyone watching wants to add thoughts on games for week 2, or would like to help in creating this series, then shoot me a message on Showdown or Discord. Thanks Ika for co-commentating.
Yeah, sure, and especially if you're a doubles player.
That's right.
Come on, and talk instead of me, because I don't. Neither Lloyd nor I know
anything about doubles.
Know a little bit.
Yeah. So doubles players,
nothing near a top level.
Come at us, and we'll do doubles as well for week 2. All right. Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.